Miller table. And it's, in my opinion, the best. I've researched multiple tables from Fox and USA Prospectors and Royal, and I even looked at Utah Avalanche, who's a guy on YouTube that does a lot of projects he builds, and he actually built a Miller table out of wood, and it's really nice, and he seals all the wood and everything, and it worked great. But it's a wood table, and if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm a metal guy, and myself and wood don't get along unless I'm putting it in the stove and burning it. So anyhow, what we're going to talk about today is the Royal Miller table. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. So you might be asking yourself, well, why did you choose the Royal over any of these other tables? And several reasons. I've watched several videos of people operating different tables, and the quality of the other tables I didn't like. The Fox table and the US Prospectors, I don't like a black top for the table. It makes it too hard to see where your black sand is. I don't like a painted top, the chalkboard paint that they use on some, and this is a rubber top. It's really interesting stuff, and it works really great. I've already tested this a couple times, so I decided on this, and for another reason, I watched several people running the Royal. Some were just crazy stuff that they did. But a friend of Cheryl's, who's also a prospecting friend, her and her husband with us, Carla, I'll just give you her first name, her name's Carla. She's had super success with her Royal table, and she sent me a little video on it months and months ago. I watched it, and I thought, well, that's interesting, but that's as far as I went with it. And after doing my last 3 videos in the series on getting your gold out of your black sand concentrates, I realized that's what I need is the Royal table. So let me go over a few things here with you in just a second, and I'll be right back. So here's some of the reasons why I picked the Royal, besides Carla's recommendation. The quality of this table is amazing. Like I said, the rubber top is great. The adjusters here, the brass adjusters, and the catch here, this is stainless steel, and you can tell I've been using this. It's got all kind of stuff in it. So anyhow, the pump is a Tsunami pump. I can't show you that now because it's down inside. I don't think I can get a shot in there, but I'll try. And it's right there. It's a 500 gallon per hour pump. It only draws 1.8 amps, which makes it really good. I like a less draw if you're using a battery. I don't like batteries in the shop, so what I'm using is this. It's a power supply. It's a 35 amp power supply, and I can run any of my pumps with this. I can run a 2,000 gallon per hour. I can actually run my 3,500 gallon per hour pump with this power supply. It's fan cooled here, and it's this works really good. So went over that and this. What you get with this is a lot of things. So let me back out here ways and maybe move this over. I've got a lot of stuff in the way here. So this tub itself here stores your table and all this other stuff. Now inside here there's a small container. It's about yo by yo, and that catches your cons down in the bottom here. And matter of fact, it's full of black sand right now. I was playing with it yesterday. I had to do that, you know. And so it comes with that anyhow, and it comes with a snuffer bottle, and it comes with a little funnel and a vial, and the funnels to put your black sand out of your bottle in your vial. A little brush to move your black sand around on the table. A couple of their cards that you can use to scrape your gold to where you want it to be able to pick it up better. And I guess that's about it. Now they recommend running this on the battery, like I said, and I don't do that, but all this other stuff works really good. Everything worked good yesterday with my little test. And it was, let's see, what was that? This was only I think it was only a 30 mesh screen on that material. And that's this material over here. Right there. So it's fine, and this had been gone through 3 times. And I got gold out of it, and it's, you probably can't see, let's see here. If you can see on the bottom of this, right where my thumb is, right there, you can just barely see it. That has to be somewhere between 500 and 1,000 mesh. I mean, it's real teeny, and it caught it all. So I'm really happy with it so far that way. So let me get my thoughts together here on what I want to tell you before you use it. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay guys, so let's go over a few things I think are really important. Royal Manufacturing will probably agree, and I'll send them a copy of this, excuse me, of this video, and they can respond back if they like or not. It's up to them. But one thing, this tub that it comes in is a tote like you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, and it is injection molded, and I'm sure the little catch tub that's inside here, I'm sure that's probably injection molded. And if you've seen any of my previous videos on panning and whatnot, that anything that's injection molded has a mold release on it to get it out of the mold. So and it repels water and gives you little bubbles. So you got to get that out of there. It's really important that happens. And it's just a soap and water thing mainly to get that release out. And I would highly suggest Dawn dish soap and just lightly go over this, not with a brush or anything, just to clean this, because this has texture to it already, and it has a really good texture. But I would put that on this rubber, and just because of what I just did with my hand, if you have any oils on your hand, or if you decide, well, my skin's dry, I'm going to put some lotion on, and then go to do this, don't touch the table. Just don't do it, because that'll float your gold, especially the small stuff we're looking for. Another thing is, after you get that all set up and you're ready to go, and you get your material ready, and don't, and I repeat, don't try to run dredge cons or high banker cons on the table without screening it. I mean, you don't put rocks and mud on the table. Just don't do that. I mean, that's not what this table's for. It isn't a cleanup sluice. It's to get your super fine out of your gold, stuff that you've never been getting before. So what you want to do is take your cons and put it in a tub or a bucket with some Dawn dish soap, clean it in water, and pour off the water, rinse it, get all the soap suds out of it, and then gently scoop it, out of there to put on your table, up here on the upper end. So that's something that's really important also, is to keep those cons clean. And Royal, excuse me, recommends a 20 minor screening. I would say myself, I'm going to run probably 20 I may play with, but 30, 40, and maybe up as high as 60, trying to get that heavies the same size or smaller than the gold. And that's a real key thing to getting small gold, is to get it screened to the right size. My last 3 video series shows that. And that's a real good pointer for that. And something I've tried doing here is pre-leveling with an honest to God level. I mean, just something simple as this. This is a little bullet level, not a bullet, a torpedo level, and it's a 9-inch, I think this is. Now, this way I'm not too concerned about because you have adjusters. This way is pretty important, that bubble's dead center that way. It just takes some of the adjustment out for you. Royal doesn't recommend using a pump control. And I use a pump control on everything, so I'm probably not going to use a pump control at the present time, but if this table has anything that I don't like, it's trying to adjust your flow with this valve. This is on the back of the table, and you adjust your flow here to get that real nice slow flow over here, so you can move the black sand and hold the gold down. And it's a little stiff, this valve. Maybe it'll loosen up in the future, I don't know. But that's one thing I don't care for, and I may experiment in the future, and I don't recommend experimenting with this. I mean, they've got this set up so it does good and it works good the way it is, and I will probably try my pump controller just to see what it does. Last probably but not least in the setup and running is my favorite, and you've seen me use this in just about every video, is jet dry. And you got to pour it in there, and a couple drops, I'm going to say, isn't as good as a little bit more, where you can actually get this to separate up here on the table, get your water to separate and flow across the tabletop. So I use a little bit more. I mean, I don't want to have suds coming out the top of the box here or anything. You know, just a couple drops, yeah, it's good. I'll probably put 6 or 8 drops in just because that's the way I do things. You don't have to do that. That's what I do. So what we're going to run today is this stuff. This is the 40 minus, and it's dry right now, so that's the other thing I really recommend you do, is don't run dry material. If you're going to run it and you need to screen ahead of time, screen it dry, then get it wet before you run it on the table, and that's a must. Or this, as small as, especially this 40 minus gold, it's tiny. So and I'm sure there's some in there that's 500 minus or 600 or I don't know. We're going to see here in a little bit. So let me fire this puppy up and see what we can do here. And I'm going to get the table wet first, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so it's up and I'm running water. And notice here, I am not all the way across the table. So that's what these little adjusters do. I'll raise this side and I'll lower this side. So I just raised this one, now we'll lower this one, and now it's all the way across, and it's got a fairly good sheet here. But what I don't like so far is I think I'm too fast. For this size of gold, I think I'm too fast, so I'm going to start cranking this down on the valve on the back here, just a little bit at a time. We'll watch, and the water may break, and if it does, then we'll have to adjust back and forth to get a more steady stream, because this is way too fast, I think. So we're down just probably a 1/16 of a turn. See, now this is breaking down here, but this flow on top looks pretty good. Let me slow it just a touch more. I don't know if you can see, but don't do what I've been doing. Just don't lean on the edge like that. It will affect its level. And that looks fairly good. Now I don't have the sheet here that they talk about in the instructions. And I may be a little bit slow on that. We'll look here. Take it over here. There's the pan with the material in it. I just wetted it down. Now that has no jet dry in it. And if you look right, I'm saying it's a small gold. You look right here, there's a piece of gold floating right there. So that's why you want to keep this wet. You don't want to start out with it floating. You know, you want to be able to put a little bit up here and run it and try to break it away from, or break the black sand away from it. Let's see what we can do here. See if I'm too slow or too fast or whatever. I'm taking just a partial of the little shovels like I've been using before. And we'll just spread this up here. Now there's a lot of blonde sand. See, the blonde is down here already? And that's what it should do. What you don't want to do is mess around up here at the head of this. You want to let this go by itself. And you're just let your, if you see gold going down, you can just brush it back up. Now to me this looks a little fast. Except for here we can get rid of this. You can see here's gold there, teeny gold right here, and up here, and there. Now this is much less than 40 minus, anything you see here. I mean, you can see it's everywhere. And some of them work really good. Like here's a little guy right here. If you take the card and you go right in front of it, that gives you enough water to pick it up, and that was gone. Right here, easy as that. That's how easy this works. Now there's more up here. Now you can also shut the water totally off. Just shut the pump down. For some reason I don't like to do that. I've never done that before, so this works really good for me. Again, it's something I've done not with a card like this, but this doesn't disturb anything. But it's, you know, tips I've picked up from some others. Here's 3 right up here we're going to go get right now. And sometimes you will push it away. If you get too close to it or too steep. If you're using the bottle, you need a little bit of water to get that suction. Now here's one right here you can see really easy. That's probably a 40. Went right up there. Here's probably a, that's probably 100 there at least. I don't know how much of my stuff is less than 100. Now I'm looking down here and I don't see anything in here. Alright guys, the table's up and running. Looking pretty good. So what we're going to do is go over here to the pan and take a look at the pan right there. And then we'll zoom in a little. So what we're going to do, what I've seen a lot of people do in the field, is take a magnet down and get all this magnetite out of here and do this. And there, you got it. Now I don't know if there's any gold in here or not, but what we're going to do is we're going to dump it from here on the table and see if we can't recapture that in case there is. Let's give it a format out. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off with my fingers. I'm going to drop it up here at the top. Don't know if there's gold in it. There should be. I don't know if you can see this for sure, but look at the gold right there. All I did was pick up the black sand and there's the gold. The black sand squeezed on the gold, and there it is. It's on the table. But the good thing about this table is now you can get it. If you're going to use a magnet, you can do it wet like I just did, and put that on the table. And then you can, oh yeah, we got a lot of gold here. There's a little guy there, one there, one there, one there. Now there's not a lot there, but there's enough that I wouldn't want to lose it. I mean, you work, I don't know about you, but we work really hard to get gold. And we'll take these three. And we'll take those 2, 3. And I think this is way too fast though right now where I have it. It could be a little bit lighter water. And like I say, that's why I think a pump controller would be good if it doesn't affect the flow inside the, I'm going to call it a header box. We're back up and running. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Let's do another scoop. Just one more. This will be a partial scoop. And I've got the light on now. This light is when I do a green screen. I use this light, and it's pretty bright. And it should enable us to see the gold better. I kind of like that right about there. That's a good flow. And you can see, I suppose you can see, I can't see it in the camera, but little bitty guys here. There's one that looks like a little piece of wire, one here, one there, there. Here. And this down here, I don't see any gold down here. So we'll take those little specks and take them over there. And they will stay because of this top. Don't want to touch that. There's another little guy here. You can see him Yeah, the light helps a lot. Now this is a real white light, which I don't know that that makes any difference. Now I've got this running pretty slow now. Now, in the instructions of the video, they ask you to have a sheet of water across here. I don't have that, but I've got a sheet all the way across on top that I think is fine. Alright, this is the last batch coming off the table. You can see this is all gold. All gold. This is all blonde sand and black sand. Alright, that's the last one. This is the final weigh-in. This is my scale here. Let's don't have my... Okay, here we go. And this vial is clear water. So we'll tare this. So 0.00, and it's now 0.88. So let's tare it. And it's 0. Get that on there, and it's a solid 0.16 grams out of about 6, maybe 7 tablespoons of black sand. Alright, that's it for now. You saw what I got. And this, let me show you what this looks like, because for the first time I did pretty good, I think. I got a little bit of black sand in it, and I got a little bit of lead in it, and seeing as how it's my first time, that's pretty good. Nice looking stuff, lots of it. Alright, that's it.